So we start from the top left corner as A, and then as we go, we name it B, C, D, E, F, G. If you do have datums that are close to each other, you still can break one of them by, you see this elbow line, and from that you can break your grid, as just to show you here. So this, and you see this elbow, if you click on it, it will break the line for you to make a room with the neighbor axis. Pay attention that avoiding overlapping is very essential in the working drawing. Do not put information on top of each other so that they become overlapped with each other. And as we go with the notations and symbols and other stuff, you will see that your drawing becomes busy, and you want to avoid having overlapping as you would go. Right. One of the features that we talk about is the tagging. If you go to annotate and you go to tag, those are the two tags that you'll see here. If I pick tag, this will tag everything, and I don't want to do that because it will maybe make things out of control while you are tagging. You can take by tag by category and then pick what you want to tag. If I hover over the door, it will tag it for me like this. Doors here tag it, windows will tag it. It gives different tagging symbol based on what is the thing that you're tagging. You still can tag walls, but we focus here on tagging the openings, the doors and windows in here. Now let's talk about the tagging a little bit. If I click on that on the door, it tags for me. I still can grab the tagging and as close as possible to the door. I don't want you to have the tagging have any leader. Okay, so that unclick it. If you pick it here, or before even posting it, picking it, try to avoid having a leader in that. Right. Why? Because unless you are tagging the door and you don't find the room for it, you don't find the space to put your tag, you can put it with a leader to show that this tag is referring to this door. But what I wanted you to do is that we will try a feature here is that is if we take that and we edit the family of it. Usually, not usually, but traditionally it used to be tagging the doors. It used to be instead of doing this kind of shape, we do it as a circle. So let's agree on doing it this way, so that what you can do here, we get into the family group of the tagging and we can adjust some stuff for it. So that, for instance, I will delete the shape that I see here. And instead, I will create my own shape, which is going to be a circle that contains two lines, two information. Let's do it this way, like this. And I will come here also and make a line that separates it into two. Try to drag this up a little. And I will create an instance for that and put it down there. By clicking on one of the numbers, it will tell me what is that label is. So that it tells me that this is Mark. Mark, it tells me here that what is the number of that door that I see. So that it's fine. For the upper tag, I will go with the same thing. It's still Mark because I created a copy from it, but I don't want this. I will put it back and look for something called type mark. And apply. Okay. This type mark tells me what is the type of that door. This tells me what is the quantity of this door. So that, for instance, if I have 5 doors identical to each other in the plan, the upper number will be the same because it represents the type. The lower number will count from 1 to 5. And if I do so, if I am fine with that and I load into my project, and it will give me a message, do you want to update? You can pick yes, and that will update the numbers for me like this. Now this can be adjusted a little bit. The key is that if you can adjust it and make it smaller and fit it inside as much as possible, close to what you're tagging, that is the best. If I go here and also go to annotate and tag and pick the door, it will tag it for me like that because it's the same type. It gives it the same number and it counts at 7 here. You can still adjust for sure. You can adjust the numbering. You can adjust it however you want. Try to be clean from the beginning, not to duplicating doors and close and delete them, because Revit is somehow stupid in this. It will count even if you delete, it will still count it, and then by this you will have some problems in number. We need sequential number. We don't want to have numbers that is missing. Did anybody raise his hand or has a question?
That's I mean.
Go ahead.
Could you please just repeat what the upper number and the lower number represents exactly?
Yeah, so the upper number represents the type of the door type, and we were saying by saying it's giving it a number. So by saying number 18, that means that this door is following a specific type, and the door beside it, which is 18 as well, has the same exact type. So that if I have 2 cars and both of them written on them Honda, that means that the 2 cars are identical to each other, given that the model is the same and everything is the same, right? So this is the title of the door that tells you that this door is identical to the other doors that share the same number, and the lower number tells you how many doors are in the plan having the same type. For instance, if I decide to make another door in my plan that is not the same as this one, suppose I come to here and I say let's make a door here like this. If I want to tag it, I'll come to it. It gives me here different number. You see?
But the lower number should be 1 because it's
the lower number should be 1 because it's the only door that is in there. Similarly, if I go to annotate and pick the windows, it will tag it similar to that. What I need you to do is do the same thing. You will separate the line from in the middle and give the upper number the type of the window, the lower number the number of the window, the quantity of the window. So that will do it similar like this. So that I can still go to that and edit the family. Just show you quickly again, and then you go here and draft this line. Whatever you create here will affect the drawing that you have originally, and then you can shift this a little and try, of course, to contain that. If it's big, try to adjust it a little bit so that you can go to edit type and adjust the scale from here. You can make the text size smaller a little bit in order to be contained completely in that here. And as I said, all of the information that you want to have will be embedded in this table, so that once anything you want to change, pick it, and then the property of it will be shown in the properties of the left-hand side. And you can load it to the family, load it to the project. It will say which file. If you have multiple files and open it and override, it will override it for you, similar to this as well. So that these marks need to be shown in your drawing as the first, I think, one of the valuable drawing symbols that has to be embedded in the project. Let me see what other things we can talk about today before I leave you with your assignment to start working on it without to give you some time to work on it. Let's just talk about, we have the wet areas and the stairs columns. Let's leave those for the next class. Let's talk about the room and space name. And yes, let's talk about those. Of course, the dimensions is one of the things also that need to be considered in your drawing before going into the space. Let's talk a little bit about the dimensions. You would see the dimension and you see list of dimensions in here. What we can do is that you can align. If you have inclined object, it will be aligned with it. Similar, and if you hover over here, you will see a little bit of drawing explain to you that. And of course, I'm 100% sure that all of you are aware of this. This linear is going to be done in a linear way like this. Now there is let's see, if you I want to go here and take again linear. I want to show you one of the options. This is the list of the properties that you see here for the dimension line that you can see. Also in the manage tab, if you go to, if I still remember correctly, the additional setting is for, here is some of the options that you will go to in order to adjust your dimension lines. Temporary dimensions is where it's measured, so that this is important as well. Are you measuring from face to face of the wall, doors and window? Are you measuring center lines or opening? So this will tell you also about the dimension if you want to adjust it, so that if I want to measure, and that is the temporary dimension, as you see, it picks the center of the doors. It doesn't come to it still can pick the opening, but it still can do the center to center dimension of the doors. That is an option, so that you can go with it. Can anybody tell me what is the benefit of having the center to center dimension instead of face to face or edge to edge? Anybody knows? Anyone? So what do you think is the best one, face to face or center to center of anything? What do you think? So for this one, I picked it's going center to center, as you see, right? It does sense directly the center of the wall, as you see here, and you still can go to this option in here, and instead of divided to the wall center, you can select the wall face or the face of the wall or the center of the wall face, and you have here individual, pick the individual reference or the entire wall if you want to, so that if I pick here, it comes to the edge of the wall and start to drag a line similar to that. And once I click, it gives me the dimension here. Now, the edge to edge is important sometimes in the spaces. That is the important ones. If I want to show the space dimension and the clear space dimension, the edge to edge is going to be much more useful compared to the center line to the center line. But sometimes, if I'm developing, for instance, an elevation, and this elevation is somehow symmetric, does have symmetry in it, and the symmetry is just one of the things that I want to emphasize and keep neat in my drawing. Although the construction, as you know, will have some errors, and this errors, as we minimize it, will come into neat structure as well. If you decide to make a door in the middle of the drawing exactly, or the middle of your wall exactly, in this time, if you measure it from center line of the door to the edge, is going to be much more beneficial compared to that measuring it from the edge of the door till the end of the wall, because in this time you are accumulating dimensions. If there is error from one side, it will accumulate with you and grow up with you as you go to the other side. Whereas if I measure to the center line, it somehow minimizes the error that you would see. Imagine this. It's an example that is somehow not very close, but it's still going to give you an idea. If you have a space and you start to put your tiles in that space, you have the option to start from the middle, to put the start to put the first tile in the exact middle of that space and go to the corners as you, or the sides as you go, so that you end up with all of the sides maybe with pieces of that tile, not a full tile. And that will emphasize at the same time some of the portion or the middle area of that space. However, if you decide to go from one corner to the other corner, you start the new tile in one corner and then go as you go to the other sides, you will have two neat edges, and the other two edges will be just adding up to be small tiles. And that is somehow how we control the quality of the materials and how the materials will be set up in the construction sites as you would go. So if you want to completely avoid having this problem, like you have small tiles in the edges, you have to design your tiles, and that is the shop drawing, by the way. You have to design your tiles so that you have to avoid completely having any problems in the close to the edges. And that is also, if you are having tiles, you have to think about the tile dimension and the side of your wall, so that you avoid having that. So it's going to be multiplication of the, so that if I have 50 centimeters tile, if I have my wall 4 meters or the side of the room 4 meters, that most probably I won't have any leftover space that I will fill it with a portion of the tile. And that is something I'm just saying, just to explain some stuff that came to my mind now. Right, the dimension here need to be, and that is important. You have to going into the dimension, we have to adjust this number so that in the edit type you can see that I am having here the size. I also have the unit format here. I have the unit format here. I have to change that dimension, or if I want to have it from the beginning, I can go to the units, so that doing this from the menu here in properties will adjust this dimension only. You want to do go to what is it? Where do we have it? Manage project units, and then make at least in the length, make 2 decimal. See that? It rounded up the numbers, whereas I didn't have 5 exactly. I have those. Even if it's 5, it's still, you want to show it as 5.00. Why? Because 5 by itself flying in the air like this might be very deceiving. Anybody can adjust it and put something in afterwards in it. It's going to be deceiving. So that this is a professional way to show it. Even if it's an integer number, put dot and make 2 decimal behind that distance. Where the dimension should be? The dimension should be close to the edges as much as possible. As much as possible. Of course, this need to be scaled down. And I'm not advising you to go to modify and modify from here. Do it in the family, adjust it. And if I want to make dimensions as well, the dimension also has to be continuous. Let's see. From here, let's go and say linear. If I do dimension here, I'm coming here. I still can go to the edge, and this is exactly what I want to see. Here, it's still, you can adjust it. You can put it at this edge or this edge. So I put here the dimension of the room, the dimension of the wall, and the thickness of the wall, and the dimension of the other one. Do not. You still can come to this one and delete it. But however, I don't want to have dimension like this, and you do it like that. Do not do the dimension like this. I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. do not do it like this. Do not make them unaligned together. Make them as one neat line going as much as possible, continuous in your project, in order to have the line continue and neat and representative. If you still don't want to show the wall thickness, you still can do it, and I'm not enforcing you to do it. You still can do it because the wall thickness might appear in another drawing, so that you can make it like this. But the line dimensions are so essential to be appear. But why we place our line dimension close to the sides? Of course, also if you do have opening, you still have. It's better to show it in the drawing. Like this, and I don't want to see this. I don't want to see overlap like this. If the line is touching, try to scale down the dimension or shift it a little bit so that it doesn't overlap with the dimension that you see. But why we do so? We do so because we want to show what is the room information in the middle of that room number and with the room tag. There is, I think it's in view or annotate. Both of them are useful for us, but I think it's in the annotate. You see here room tag. This room tag, if you click on it and move here, it doesn't show you anything. It won't show you anything. Why? Because you did not construct the floor yet. The way to do so, you can go to your structure and select a slab. And this slab for now is I will accept it without going into details. You can still go to edit type and arrange what is the layer similar to the wall that we have. And of course, if you are having a floor or a slab, it has to have a structural materials and what is below it as finishes and what is above it as substrate and finishes as well. If it's hidden from the bottom with a ceiling, as I said, the ceiling is not the same as the slab. Sometimes they are close to each other and sometimes they leave each other with a gap. You can keep the bottom of it unfinished. But you have to think also about the structure of the foundation or the slab that you have. Here I picked mistakenly the foundation. I don't want the foundation slab. Let's just escape from here. There is you have those two, or you can go to the floor. This is the slab here is known as the slab on grade, the slab that is in the foundation. So pick this one, and also you can do the same thing here. You can go to edit type and arrange the layers that you have. Just want to make it as it doesn't matter for me now where it's exactly painted because this is a big story that we want to discuss and explore more as we go. But let's just place it like this and hit OK. It will light up here that this is a floor now, right? If I go to my section, which I don't have, but I have this section here, and I'll click on it. I'll see my floor. Now the question is that this relationship, how we will account for, how we address the relation between the walls and the slab, and this is a topic that we need to explore more and more on it as we go. But let's for now have our, especially for our ground floor, it won't affect much. It can be kept like this. But we have built it and we attach it to the level one. Here is an overlap. Also, you want to have create elbows and make similar to what we did. Don't make overlaps in it once we get to the section as well. Right. If I go to the level one here where I can go and tag my room here, you pick the room and it will pick it for you here, and try avoiding having overlaps. So that once you click in here and you go and click here. So you can adjust the name, of course. You can click on the room and name it whatever room, whether it's office or something like this, and give it sequential number as you would go here as well. So that these are the tag of the rooms. If you want to make a separation, you still can make a room separator here. Suppose I have two space or one space that is open to each other, but I want to separate it with two different materials in terms of walls, in terms of walls or floors. Suppose I would come here and make a separation line like this. So automatically it differentiates this from that and then create another one for this room. Of course, my dimension here are too small, so I'm just giving you this for illustration. But once you are on your own, you can adjust what you have and do it like this. So that this is a room separator, even in the same space, that gives dimension, give the room a different naming. So that at the end of the day, what is the benefit of these tags? It's the scheduling. You will go and create a schedule for the doors and give more information, sufficient information for the width, the height, the thicknesses, the materials, and so forth. You can come also to the rooms that are developed in your space and give it what kind of elements or what kind of finishing materials, what kind of layers that form the elevation of the room, that form the ground, the floor of the room, that form the ceiling of the room. So this is like your name, right? By knowing your name, we're saying that yes, this guy is at KFUPM, yes, this guy is at the College of Environmental Design, yes, this guy is in architecture, yes, this guy is in the third level or the third year. So that we give from your name list of information that we can extract and know more about you. And similar to those as well, we give a title, and this title will embed in lots of information that we use while we are constructing our buildings. So this is covering now the room tags and room names as well, in addition to the tags of the doors and tags of the windows. If I let me just see that one again, room tag. Yes, it picks the room for me here, and here it can adjust. But it's because it's an architecture feature, it can be run from here. I think the previous version wasn't like this completely. It was running from here as well. So this is an annotation for more items that you can put in your building. It has to be having a pile of information, and the way to do that is by tagging them and refer to them afterwards in a different place, and in a different place by creating a list of schedules that will be beneficial. So let's just end up our discussion now with the external dimensions, because we explained here the internal dimension, we explained the external dimensions. One of the things that I want you to have is that we have to have 3 dimensions line, external dimensions line, that should be outside surrounding your building. Let me just run back here and show you this again. Here is 3-dimension lines, as you would see here, from all sides. 3-dimension line that are close like here. What are these for? The dimension lines are the most out one is for the entire dimension of the wall. The one in the middle is for the dimension between the datums. The very inner one is the detailed one that shows the dimension of the opening, the dimension of the solid as you would go. So those 3-dimension lines are parallel to each other. Try to make a distance from what you see, and so that I would see from all the sides of the datums, and with the 3-dimension line ordered as we said. One of it is the overall line, like this. And please, I do not want to see these lead lines too much. I don't want to have them just embedded like this, because once you develop your drawing will be so crowded. And the way to do this, you can adjust it from edit type, and you can go to witness line and extension line. Here you can adjust all of these as you would go. So this is gap to element, as you would see here, witness line gap to element with witness line control. All of these you can adjust, and based on this you can adjust what the dimension line look like compared to your drawing. The tick mark is also important. We are making our default dimension similar to this inclined portion. Do not make an error. This is the correct way or the acceptable way in the construction documents to do so. So these are some of the things that we need to adjust for while doing the dimension. The inner one is for them. So suppose you have a datum from here to there, you will write a dimension and keep going as you go, and then the very last one is going to be for your what do you call it, the detailed one that shows the openings and the other elements. Pay attention that better better to have it like this, or you can have it center line. If you want to have it center line, you can do it as center line, and from center line is accepted. If you have to have the opening and the voids, you still can do it. But I showed you what is the difference between them. Try to avoid having overlaps similar to that. Do not make lots of overlaps like this because it's going to be hard to read afterwards. So try to adjust your drawing or the right knob that you have or the scale that you have in that in order not to overlap too much as you see here. Of course, I'm just drawing it in a small scale. What you see as what we start with compared to what we have now is a lot different than what we started with, and the more details we put, the more professional it would look like. But my also advice again to you is not to overlap and not throw unneeded information into the drawing. Try to make the drawing as neat as possible, and at the same time with the information that is important to construct, not just throw information that is not needed in your building.